warmth of life has entered my tomb. Prepare yourself, mortal, to serve my master for eternity.
Welcome to the Spindash Retro Gaming Podcast. Prepare yourself for the journey of persevering. Fire straight into your delicate, literal earholes. Fire away.
Fresh meat.
This episode's going to be interesting because, like, Nick, you're calling from the extended warranty call center, and I've got John dialing in from the dark pits of hell. So,
yeah, the echo chamber.
We're
This
doing
is
okay.
not a twist up. Shit.
No, it's not. So, John, just so you know, I'm holding out. I'm hoping I can make it to Vinyl Haven. I say I'm hoping because I still don't have a car. So remember how Nikki's car died? I can't leave her without a car, and I'm waiting for it's been gone for 3 weeks, and I basically have demanded a loaner out of them, and I'll know more tomorrow. But it's
what the fuck have you been doing in the meantime?
Dude, it's been a bitch. This has been a long 2 weeks. A long 2.
You never got a loaner in the first place?
No, they didn't have any loaners. All their loaners have been in accidents. It has been a shit show.
That's awful.
Yeah,
you guys like car bullshit everywhere.
Well, speaking of car trouble, Matt, you actually were there when we found out how much it was going to cost to repair my car to get a sticker on it.
Yeah,
It was like over, I think, just a little bit over $5,000 for repairs.
It's Maine. You can go to a guy somewhere out of town, and he'll put some duct tape on it, and he'll put a sticker on it.
Everyone knows that place. So this is our first episode in October. So this is spooky month.
Spooky.
Yes.
So I've been asking you guys to think about candy, and I'm curious, like what do you guys think about candy corn? Let the listeners know. So, John, you're anti-candy corn.
Like the masses, yes. Nick, always the antagonist to our tastes.
I literally have a thing of candy corn upstairs. Always. I like it. I mean, it's underrated for use. There's some really good ones. Your standard. There's like the caramel apples. Yeah, I like candy corn.
The brown tipped ones, I don't like the chocolate
The one
ones.
with the caramel or chocolate, yeah.
Yeah, those are no good. The classic candy corn, I wouldn't buy it, but if I find it, I won't stop eating it.
Yeah.
So when you guys were trick-or-treating, what were your favorite candies? What did you guys like to get? Like, what was the jackpot? And I've been asking people at work this
Butterfinger.
too. Butterfinger was the jackpot?
Yeah.
Butterfinger or like Milky Way.
Milky Way Snickers, the nut size ones. That was
the mini size.
It's when you got the house that gave out the full size candy bars.
Yeah, holy shit. That was rare. That was the house.
That was rare.
You said to go to the right neighborhoods.
The Reese's in the cups, like the little tinfoil.
Yeah,
those were good. That was always a staple. We went.
I had a house we went to that gave out toys.
Well, that's sweet. They gave out toys.
Yeah, this house just gave out toys. I had a house that gave out cash.
Cash? Dude, the fuck did you trick or treat?
Dude, there's this
Richie Rich.
It was one of the neighborhoods in one of the towns I grew up. Like it was like Rose, and it was, at that time growing up is when you're more well off. Your middle to upper class people families lived, or your some of your retirees lived, so they had money to throw around. So going there, and it was a great thing. It was a grid pattern, so you had like 4 to 5 different roads to go down, and they're all connected. And on each road, you had like 20, 30 houses. So
that
you literally
was the ticket.
Me and my brother would start early, put on one set of costumes, go through, then put on a second each other's costumes, like mismatch each other's costume, and go through again. And we'd have pillowcases completely friggin' full. We'd do it for like 2 hours.
You're either brilliant or a scumbag. I'm not sure what I want to call you.
An opportunist.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I was sitting here eating some Skittles.
Yeah.
And so I did find some candy data for us for our first Halloween episode. I have the America's top 10 favorite Halloween candies. I'm curious if you agree with them.
Start with the bottom and go up.
Number 10, candy corn.
Yes.
Which coincidentally is also the number one worst candy, according to candystore.com. I don't know how that makes sense.
Their poll data,
but I'm going to go with it. Tootsie Pops, number 9.
Yeah.
Snickers, number 8. That's way too low, in my opinion.
I feel that one should be a little higher.
Much higher. Hershey Kisses are 7. Like, I don't want Kisses.
Kisses should be 9 on the list.
That's a Christmas. That's a Christmas thing.
Yeah.
All right, for Justin, here we go. Sour Patch Kids.
Hey.
That must be new. This must be like new because I don't remember those being big when I was a kid.
Well, get ready because there's more data for you. Number 5, hot tamales. Dude, fuck hot tamales. They're awful. Cinnamon.
Overrated, man. That's way too high.
Just mouth burning garbage.
Number 4 right there, easy.
So you're you're all worked up about it being 1 point lower than what it should have been.
That's easy. Top 4.
You gotta kick Snickers up a bunch of places, man.
Yeah.
Snickers should be like a number 2,
right?
Number 4, Starburst.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
They're solid.
Yeah.
They're solid. M&M's number 3.
I forgot about those. I don't know how I forgot about those.
They're a staple, but I wasn't overly, Skittles number 2. I do enjoy a good pack of Skittles.
Is Reese's number 1?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
All right.
That combination of chocolate and peanut butter is just can't beat it.
John and Matt, what is your top 10 candies for Halloween?
I don't know if I could do 10.
Yeah. We'll go top 5. What's your top 5?
Right. Number 1 for me, I think, would have to be Snickers. I feel like that's a solid Snickers or Milky Way. Those are like my 1 or 2. You get the little nugget-sized bars.
John's in deep thought. Sorry, just had to notice.
This is an important conversation for the listeners.
So number 1. So are we going to go around? We'll all say our number 1s and go 2 and 3 and 4.
Well, just something real quick, something we can fight about. I mean,
Reese's
you've already
is number 1.
Yeah, so John is all American.
That's my combo.
The fact that you like hot tamales, Nick, is really is bothering me.
That's why we're probably friends, actually. What is it? The olive theory that comes out in relationships.
Yep.
I'm your hot tamale.
Nick, you should move to North Dakota. Because hot tamales are the most popular candy in Halloween candy in North Dakota.
Oh, I love it. That was my favorite. Anything cinnamon based was was a candy I love. I like hot food anyway, so hot candy. I mean, John, I like spicy beer too.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's see. Reese's for John, and then Snickers for Matt. I'm gonna have to say Butterfingers, my top 1.
Bold.
I love Butterfingers.
That is messy.
It's one of those candy bars. Like, it's so enjoyable. It's messy, but it has just the right amount of chocolate and all the right amount of crunch and peanut butter taste. But God, you need like a thing of milk or like something to help.
It's in your teeth. Gets right in them. Fun fact, Nick, you would do well in South Carolina. That is the number 1 pick for South Carolina.
Yes, I got 2 good states.
Overrated state.
Maine is a Justin stronghold. He's bringing us. He's literally keeping them in stock, keeping them in business. We're Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Single-handedly, one man is making this happen.
Always has them.
It's not like he has a small bag. He has like the 5-pounders.
That trunk of his used to have everything he would need. He could just go for a week and he wouldn't need to do anything.
If he got in a car accident, they would think he's a pervert. just like fucking kid.
Instead of mini vans, it'd be Tiburons.
Drive it over.
I gotta wonder what Bud Light Lime and Sour Patch Kids taste like together. Can't be that good.
That's gonna be the next flavor of Bud Light candy.
We're not too far off, man. These seltzers
For the kids.
Yeah. So seltzers are getting radical.
Well, before we get into it, I have to ask: have any pickups? John, you had a bumper crop the last one, so I don't know. It's probably pretty slow on your end.
Yeah.
I'm sure he has some loadout coming up here shortly.
Yeah, my colleague there, he has some more stuff, but we haven't discussed trades yet. So
yeah,
I don't have anything exciting right now.
Yeah, you got Diablo 3, just like me.
Bought Diablo 3. Yeah, that was a budget buster for a little bit there.
Nick, anything good?
I didn't have to buy it. I had it already.
Yeah, fucker. Anything your way, Nick?
Nothing. I don't know. There's nothing that's caught my interest because I think I don't want to do a game. I've been wanting to do hardware. And specifically, I've been looking at seeing if I could just find. I've been just keeping my eye out for a good handheld. Gotcha. Specifically, I've been looking for a Game Boy Advance that is going to pop on there. I'm hoping for like $30 or something like that, where I can just snag it.
Yep.
So I've been holding out. I've been just waiting for a Game Boy Advance to pop up.
Gotcha. I have this for John.
Crystal Warriors. John's favorite game. You know that.
I love how Nick picked that by accident.
I like how Matt has been on a spree of buying Sega games.
Yeah.
Crazy. I've been hot and heavy into the Sega. I have been hot and heavy into the Sega. But yeah, I picked that up. We played it on the show. I figured I've got to own it.
Yeah.
You know, within reason, I'm not going to go out and buy Senti. I can't afford that. But
how much is that game? How much is Crystal Warriors going for now?
It's going for 40. It's in the 40 range. I think I picked it up by accident because the person shouldn't have listed it for what they listed it for. And I was like, mine. So, yeah. Okay. Crystal Warriors and Diablo 3, which has started our descent into madness and has started us on the game of the week.
Game of the week.
We were supposed to play Clock Tower. And then what happened was they released Diablo 2 Resurrected. And we're all like stupid little sharks. It's like someone mentions Diablo, like the rest of everyone just is like frothing at the mouth. It's like, oh, fuck a Diablo.
Well, I think of all games, I think that holds probably the most special place in our hearts. It drums up so many feelings. So many.
Well, then I think what happened was we were going to play Diablo. So I was like, okay, we're not going to play Clock Tower. Maybe we'll play Diablo 2. So John and I start fucking around with Diablo 2. But you don't have your disc for Diablo 2 or don't have the keys. So
I tried so hard.
You did.
I went through
contacted Blizzard?
I actually chatted with Blizzard. So I actually had a chat. It's like I was feeling older and older as the guy talked. He's like, I don't know if we can find this. That was like on our old our old servers and everything. Like, I'm like, what do you mean? I think it's that old game. I'm like, oh crap, it really is that old.
2000. That was like yesterday.
I'm like, that ain't that old. I mean, come on. But yeah, no D2, though I do have enough funds to buy D2 if I want to.
Well, so here's the problem. Blizzard kind of fucked us. So I'm in like two different chats and everyone's talking Diablo because everyone's just like frantically frenzied, doing the shark with the blood in the water. But we can run it on Switch. We can't run it on our computers because they're potatoes. Some more capable potatoes than others, but still potatoes. Justin can't run it on his computer. Dan wants to run it on his Xbox. The other guys are running on their computer and they can't run it on Switch. So like we can't play together. So Blizzard kind of fucked us. It's like, well, that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
A little disappointing.
So now we're playing Diablo 3, and it's like no one's playing Clock Tower because everyone's playing Diablo 3. So it's like, well, fuck it. We'll do a Diablo episode.
I went through Clock Tower, by the way.
See, now I can't tell if anyone's playing the game of the week because if no one talks about it, I assume no one's playing it. So when we get like a week out, I start panicking. I'm like, oh no, we're not gonna have anything to talk about. We've got to do something quick, drastic changes.
No, it's actually been played through.
I haven't started it yet.
Yeah, see? Fine. Nick, props to you, John, as expected.
Yeah.
Well, the good thing about this game is we're so close to Halloween, it's spooky. So that was the big thing. It still fits our Halloween theme. Now we get 2 October Halloween specials versus 1. So
right.
Very exciting. So, what is your guys' experience with this game? Any?
I never actually played it until this. I watched my stepdad play it quite a bit, actually, because we had it on the PlayStation.
Really?
So, all my things have been always watching him play it. Oh, that's an interesting game. Oh, okay. So that's my only actual experience with it, besides like hearing my friends that had computers that could afford computers back then and them playing it. But I didn't get into the series until the next game.
Yep.
So it was a stark, even from the other 2 games that are out, it was a stark playthrough.
John, how about you?
So I got a copy of this at a yard sale, and it said Diablo, and I was like, yes, and it was just a burned CD, and I was like, yes, Diablo 2. I think I was in like 9th grade, and I was like, yeah, all right. So I think it was like $1. So I got it, and I got home and I popped it in. It was Diablo 1, and I was like, this sucks. So I never played it. Because everybody was playing Diablo 2 in high school. I was like, I need to jump on the bandwagon. So I got it. I was all stoked, and it was just like, brah. You know, like how, I don't know, the start to this game is not underwhelming, but it's just like, oh, you know, there's not a lot of fanfare. There's not a lot of buildup. You're just like in a village, and the music.
Everyone was doing one thing, and you had to do something else, so you felt left out. The old FOMO.
Yeah. So I was just like, damn it. And so it's been sitting in my my binder of games, all of my PC games ever since then. But I didn't unearth it because, you know, Windows 95 doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah. Getting it to run. So I've owned this game. I've owned this in the battle chest. And I bought the battle chest in order to play Diablo 2. And I think I might have stuck it in once and like, oh, I can't run. I'm not playing this. Back to Diablo 2. So I've played 5 minutes of this. I watched Justin play it.
Yeah.
So he had the original Diablo. I remember him playing through it.
This might be one of the minority of our games where none of us have really played it.
Yeah. I think we all knew about it, but I don't think any one of us have played it. So
I mean, I had, like you, Matt, I had this because I had the battle chest, but it was just stood there in the battle chest. Like, there was no reason to pull it out. It just stood there because I'm like, why would I want to play something? And I played the the second one all the way even past high school. Like, it was still very popular even past, like, I say I played it all the way into like first year of college.
Right, we were playing it in college too.
So,
do you know anything about the development or when it was released? You get any of that?
I actually, yeah. So I love Blizzard because Warcraft 2 and 3 and StarCraft were mainstays in my video game repertoire. So the development was this guy that had Condor Studios way back in the 90s. He had this idea for this game, and he was working on other stuff. And he made a fighting game for someone, and he premiered it alongside Blizzard, right? So they were at the same convention. I read up on this a couple days ago.
Did you?
And yeah, because I was intrigued. And so this is like the founding days of Blizzard. So they were working on another game, and they met, and they agreed to like sponsor Diablo because they heard him pitch it, right? Is that kind of what you're thinking?
I'm watching Nick cut in and cut out and cut in and cut out. I think that's and I didn't catch how he got tied in with Blizzard, because I think this was a Blizzard North game, and I want to say I don't know if they were the ones that founded it. Yeah,
so Condor became Blizzard North.
Okay, that's what it was.
Yep. So Blizzard South was the initial Blizzard, and then Blizzard South acquired Blizzard North, and they merged.
Oh, see, I didn't catch that.
Yeah, and I read that like as they were trying to buy Blizzard North, 3DO heard about Diablo, and they're like, "Hey, we'll buy it. We'll sponsor you. We'll produce it. We'll pay you more." And so they offered him more money. I didn't see the figures, but the rumor is that they were offering way more. And he's like, "Nah, they've been good to me. I'll go with them."
That's awesome.
Yeah, so 3DO would have had traction in the gaming world.
Imagine if Nick was here to say that. The one time 3DO gets mentioned on an episode, Nick can't get in to talk about it.
Got to tease him. So interesting development. It was, I think, the flagship action RPG. It was the first big one. Yeah.
It was, I mean, they've had them before that, because you figure like Secret of Mana was technically an action RPG.
That's true.
You know, they had all those, but not like this one. It's weird, because I think like before Diablo, you would look at something like Zelda and be like, Zelda's an action RPG. And then like after Diablo, you'd be like, no, Zelda's an action adventure. This is an action RPG. That's the difference.
Yeah. The depth of it too, I think really, Secret of Mana is an action RPG, but it didn't have the depth. It still had weapons and armor, but like not to this degree.
It didn't get into
Diablo. Yeah.
It didn't get into stats. And I think that's just because so Diablo is really just like an extension of Rogue, which is an extension of like Dungeons and Dragons.
Right.
And you can kind of see
like a DOS game, right? Rogue was the first one where, real basic graphics, but a massive story and gameplay and stats and all that.
I think you're thinking of like Zork or something. But Rogue is the one. I mean, the big thing with a Rogue, and people will fight nonstop about, hey, he's back. While you were gone, we mentioned 3DO, and now we're moving on. You missed it. You missed your moment, Nick, to shine.
Well, we'll go with it.
I will just run with it, and then if I have to, I'll just cut you out, Nick, and then the whole episode won't make any sense. So, Nick,
like this game.
So where we left off, we were talking about the development, and John referenced the 3DO, and it's a secret. You can't know about it. You'll have to listen to the episode.
Fuck. I don't want to be part of our downloads. You'll put it up to two downloads.
Don't worry. Our moms are helping us out. They're not listening. They're just downloading it to make us feel better.
Wait, you guys know your moms? Fuckers.
Oh. So, John, I know you were talking about, I think the guy's name was David Brevik. I think was the guy.
The founder of Condor / Blizzard North.
So, Nick.
He's under a lot of heat right now.
Is he? I thought he left. He's not part of the ones that are Blizzard is like in a lot of hot water for a lot of stuff, but he's gone.
There. Well, so about that, diverge real quick, is because I had some family that's like, oh, I'm not gonna get D2 Resurrection. I'm like, because of what's been happening. I'm like, well, it's actually a completely different team that's doing the remake. They took over the remake. But hop back to this one. Tell me more.
So John got into like the start of like Blizzard North, and the only thing that I have on the development on this one was Diablo was released according to the wiki, and I guess this is disputed. Diablo was released January 3rd, 1997 in North America. It's disputed because the developer on this one claimed that it was sold sometime on the West Coast in 96 at the tail end of it. It was released in Europe in November of 97. And then it also had a PlayStation release in March of 98. I believe it was, they were considering a Saturn port of it, and it just never materialized. And it also was released on Mac, but who cares? The other thing, too, that this game was also originally intended to be like claymation style, like Clay Fighter. But they smartly ruled against that and decided to make it 3D isometric instead. So we were talking a little bit about Rogue, Nick. Have you any experience with Rogue or roguelites or roguelites? Any idea what that is?
None.
So there's a big list of what will qualify as a rogue versus not a rogue. And if you get on the internet and you start talking about it, everyone's going to fight about it. But basically, the big thing, like the big takeaways from a rogue game is there's a thing called permadeath, which doesn't really apply all that much to Diablo, although in hardcore mode it does for the later games. But it uses like procedurally generated dungeons. So there's always a random element to the game. So you can kind of see that in the DNA of Diablo. Like Diablo is probably not the best fit for a rogue game. The other thing too is that it's turn-based. So every time you move in a direction playing a rogue game, an action happens. So if like you hit up, your character will move, and then the other character will move, but it's not live action. You know, Diablo is a live action game. So this was originally supposed to be a live action, a turn-based game, you know, a true rogue. And
it'd be so much slower.
Yeah. Well, I guess Brevik wanted it to be that way. And then when he pitched it, there was a vote and he got overruled on it and had to make it an action RPG.
And then he loved it. He was like, oh yeah, this is great. So, yeah.
I mean, if we went that way, it's just like, again, so I started with Diablo 2, where you had the ability to run, you had the ability to sprint. I was hitting R so many times, hoping that I would start just randomly running.
Let's hack it. Hack the game.
I was like, why can't I just run? Just slowly just walking.
Just moving diagonals.
Yeah. The guy kind of runs like, or walks at a brisk pace. Like he's like smuggling shit in his ass if he doesn't want to drop it out.
Oh yeah. Yeah. I thought my character was doing Kegels the whole time.
Jeez.
I love fighting the butcher and trying to run away from him because he's just as fast as you. So I zigzagged around and would try to smack him and run away. It was comical.
So did you guys both get the butcher quest?
No, he killed me. I just stopped trying.
No, but you had that quest.
Yeah.
See, I didn't have it. So the quests in this game are somewhat random. So like I think I was reading online, there's like 6 different groups of quests. Yep. And depending on where you are in the game, like you may trigger 1 or you may trigger, 2 of 3. I did not get the butcher, so I had the Ogden Sign and Garbog the Weak were my 2 quests in that.
Okay,
did you guys get the skeleton?
Yeah, the Skeleton King. Yeah,
yeah.
There was the Tainted Water too. I guess if you didn't
that was the first one I got.
Yeah, I didn't get
Tainted. I didn't get that one.
No. Yeah, the butcher was impossible. I tried to just I was reading up and they're like, just throw some spells in and shut the door. And I tried to shut the door every time, and I couldn't click on it just right. Oh, he got me.
See, I'm kind of I missed out on the fresh meat.
So that's the only part I remembered of this game.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
This game was scary. As a D2 player coming into this, I mean, Diablo 2 is creepy in spots, but you can run and it's not all that dark. And there's people with like totem pole face people with walking trees. Like Diablo 2's got a silliness to it. This game was like no bullshit.
Well, this game starts off like I feel like rubber banded pretty quickly. Like I feel like I was smoking everything on level 1, level 2, and then level 3. But then when I get to like level 4, like I'd get like caught by like a couple archers and just like a couple other creatures, and I just drop.
Yeah,
so I was hitting levels. I was hitting 1 through 8 like constantly.
The catacombs were the second set of levels, and that's where like you'd get surrounded by the bigger like devil looking guys, and they would just.
Well, the thing is, there's no good like you don't get like you do other games where you get like certain set. Like when you get that, you get legendary items, or you get like stronger items, but everything here is just like you may do damage between 1 through 4. I'm like,
I got shit for items. I don't know about you guys, but every time I opened something, there was nothing.
Not until the lower levels. I got shit in the upper levels.
Yeah, it was tough. It was tough to do damage.
A constant me going to town and healing myself and buying potions.
Yep.
I had town portals ready constantly.
Town portals and healing potions, man. I sat there and like in the lower levels, I was just drinking healing potions. I had like my hand on the key. Yeah, just like fire. It's funny because Justin was talking about Diablo 3 being a click race, and I was thinking about that the whole time when I was playing this one because I'd get in a group of guys, and in the movie Aliens, when they're all sitting there and they're watching, and you can see the number of the machine guns as they're like killing all the aliens, and you're like, oh shit, the guns are gonna run out of bullets. Mm-hmm. That's how I felt playing this game. It's like, I know how much health I can get out of these potions, and I'm just draining them one after another. Like, how fast can I click while I'm draining potions?
It's not going to keep up.
No.
Yeah. Like, you have to find the right spot in like a doorway to just channel them to just, so you could get one at a time.
Like, I liked it with the first couple levels because you didn't open up a room until you could clear it out. Like you could shoot through the bars. Like, okay, I just cleared out that room, so you got a good amount of time to go in. But I think I don't know if this is particular to this game, is field of view was big in this almost.
Oh, the lighting.
Because like if you weren't like one of the lighting, but if you weren't like looking in that area, you wouldn't see the person pop open or be in your vision. Like you just see them like kind of blink in almost. When it came in through your, what I assume would be your field of view.
I got startled, honestly, by a lot of things. Like, I'd be lurking around, and it's like, oh, I could go back up to town and get, Pepin or whatever his name is to heal me and buy some potions. But I might press onward, and then someone comes into my field of view when I'm close to dying. I was like, oh, shit!
Yeah, run.
And then it turns like you can't run all that fast. So It's this like weird race of how many people can swarm you before you get to the the layer the level up.
Right, you got to juke diagonal. It'd be like diagonal run.
So backstory on Diablo.
Yeah.
The game involves, I think you're in Tristram.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know the exact plot entirely, but basically there's like a war between heaven and hell, and the town of Tristram is under attack by all these demons that are like pouring out of the bottom of this giant cathedral.
Yeah, how crazy is that?
It's such a cool concept.
Yeah, I guess way back when they trapped Diablo in a stone, in the Soul Stone, like deep below this church, and then they all left, and it kind of fell to ruin, and he escaped and like made his way up and tainted the priest or whatever his name was.
Yes, because he was helping him.
Yeah,
it's weird how this game has started such a big story ultimately too. Like there's comic books and everything on this. Like I was reading some of the comics of this first one, and it's like, oh, this is actually some dark shit.
Why they never made a movie is a travesty.
What I thought was cool about this, and again, Drink, I'm going to reference Diablo 2. If you read the manual, they talk about Baal, they talk about Mephisto. I mean, they talk about the 3 prime evils, and it talks about Baal's minions versus Mephisto's minions and all that. So if you read the manual, there's like several pages of story, of lore going back on, this is what happened with the king. Diablo tried to influence the king and he went mad. He became a skeleton. Yeah. Like the story in this was excellent.
Yeah. Yeah. You said there were comic books. This would make a good graphic novel series. Like you have the 3 characters, the 3 heroes, the protagonists, and then you get all kinds of crazy evil. You got the script set up or the plot. You got to go down. You got to kill them. Boom.
There's something really cool about your descent into hell.
It kind of reminds me beneath what lies beneath the movie. Have you ever saw that?
No.
Isn't that Harrison Ford?
No.
I was thinking of like Dante's Inferno, and you pull out that. Is it the Michelle Pfeiffer movie with Harrison Ford? Is that what you're thinking of, John?
That what lies beneath? Hold on, I'm gonna.
I thought it is.
It starts.
It is.
She screams the whole damn movie, and it's annoying. Oh. I got stuck on a bus, and they played that movie over and over, and she just kept screaming in the bathtub.
I think it's What Lies Below. Sorry.
Yeah, What Lies Beneath is Michelle Pfeiffer and Harrison Ford, and she gets possessed by a ghost, and I just remember they were like, "Oh, it's so cool." No, it was a stupid movie.
It was a real bad movie.
Harrison Ford, only stinker in my book. I've watched most of his movies, and that was, yeah.
I mean, he had a cameo in The Last Jedi. So, no, The Rise of Skywalker. Sorry, the one that's even worse.
All right, well, cameo, that's his ghost. Doesn't count.
Well, we have the descent into hell. That's pretty cool. So we talk about so there's 3 classes. There's the rogue who uses ranged attacks. There's the warrior who uses straight up melee. And then there's is it the sorcerer or is it the wizard? What do they go by? What'd you guys play as?
Rogue.
Warrior, and I regret it.
Yep, I regret it too. Same thing.
No range, man. You just take all the damage. Like I remember just starting as that when I got into it the first time, and I was like, okay, I'll do that again. And then everybody's like, Rogue is the most basic. You should play as him Warrior's the beginner. I was like, oh, okay. But no, the range would have helped greatly.
What I find weird is like the difficulty with the warrior. And Nick, you can comment. I don't know how your experience was, but like the warrior early on, you're just murdering shit left and right. Like you're unstoppable in the early levels. But then when you end up in the lower levels, when when you have no range, it's hard. It is really hard.
So with the rogue, it wasn't too bad because it's just ranged weapons. But so I think what I had difficult with this is I didn't really see the benefit of the rogue realistically besides the fact that you're given a bow. Like there was no character trait or character like specific advantage I felt besides the fact that your weapons.
So
I think Drink, because I'm going to reference D2.
Yeah,
I think at least with the other games is when you picked a class, like you felt like you're that class. Like there's like you had specific, not just specific weapons, but specific like traits or skill sets that you started learning that would boost your character. And I didn't feel that in this one at all. Like I was leveling up. I'm like, okay, don't I get like a special feat or something special skill? I started off with freaking locksmith, being a locksmith pretty much, or booby trap. Was it like don't to set off booby traps? But other than that, I was picking up spell books or spells, scrolls, and using those. So like, well, ain't I pretty much a sorcerer?
So that's by design. That is, they set out to do that specifically. I don't know if we talked about this earlier or not, but so when Brevik was making this, he actually was inspired by NHL 94. Because like you could get into NHL 94 and like you could pick your player, but you didn't have to like dick around with a bunch of stats. You would just like pick it and be in the game. So like Nick, you played Dungeons and Dragons. The setup is like, I'd imagine, is a pain in the ass. Like you gotta have your character, you gotta pick all these stat things, and he didn't want to deal with that typical fantasy bullshit. Where
but
you
they're
spend
stats in the game,
right? But when you get into this, like you're given 3 options, and those options really, there's a lot of overlap with them. Like you could be a warrior using magic. You could be they have some benefits over the other. Like a warrior is more geared towards strength.
So I think he sucked dick on that one then.
What?
I think he sucked dick. Oh, come on. The reason why you go with that character is because they're going to have those special traits. Or they're going to have those special skill sets that will, like, okay, I'm a warrior. You know, I'll have extra power. You know, the reason why you did so shitty is, sorry, but you shouldn't have to get a ranged weapon or ranged skill later on for that character. You should be able to have the strength or, like, where you do a attack where it could demolish the surrounding area.
Yeah, but a warrior has more strength. I think they're capped. So a warrior could, in theory, get a ton more strength than a mage. So in the end of the game, he'll be better with melee than the other one. I just think I played shitty.
I mean, hey, I just think like it was just weird because like I'm like, oh, I'm not really having anything special. Like I didn't feel like there's. I think I could have picked on any. I could have picked any of the other characters and would have been fine.
Yeah, I mean, because I've heard that people who play as the sorcerer will pick up a bow, and for the opening part of the game, will play with a bow because it's too damn hard to deal with like trying to get enough mana.
Yeah, I mean, at that point, I mean, there should be a reason. Like, you know, if you pick warrior, okay, the first half of the game is going to be super easy because you already start off with strength. So then you have to be more diligent on where you put your skill points, and then also make sure what do you pick up. But there's like no skill tree on here. I think the reason why. And I think they learned from it, honestly, when they moved into the other following games, is because they're like, okay, well, people really like this part, but they really hate this part. You know, lack of one inventory space, or lack of like magic items that you find.
What'd you think of the inventory system?
Crap. Like,
yeah.
Okay, so it made sense because you're one person, so you should only be able to carry so much. But at the same time, like, what you carry is literally what you carry. You have no chest to go back into, like the other aforementioned games.
Yeah, I was just chucking stuff left and right.
Constant.
I littered. That entire town was covered in shit.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It was all right. I switched weapons a lot too because, like, you know, the clubs or the axes would hurt more on skeletons and other things, and then you wanted the shield for defense on guys that could hit you back for a decent amount.
Yep.
So I swapped a lot, but like that also wasn't great because I think in D2 you have the 1 and 2 you can swap between pretty quick.
You can swap them.
Yeah. So like dragging and dropping, I'd go to move potions down into the hotkeys and I'd fucking just drop them on the ground instead because you had to be pretty spot on. So yeah, I mean, it's the first game of the series, so it's going to be rough around the edges, and they fixed that in the later ones.
I think the biggest thing that got me on this game was I had such a hard time finding things that had dropped. Because on Diablo 2, I could hold, I think it's Alt, and it would highlight all the things that I could get. And in this one, I couldn't do it.
Yeah, the textures would throw you off. You're like, what's that skeleton? What's that corpse? Yeah.
I like it for the money, too. Like, you're like, oh, crap, that's a lot of money you're picking up. 2 gold pieces.
Yeah.
3 gold pieces. Like, wait a minute.
Did you see, too, like, when you're fighting these guys, it'll list their kills? Like, this guy has 7 kills. How many fucking people were in this cathedral?
I thought that was how many you killed. Is it how many they killed?
It? Oh, it might be. It might be. Okay. I don't know. Yeah. That's something I didn't read up about that. But I would see that number flash, and I didn't keep track of like how many of them I killed.
That's a weird stat, though, to give out.
Yeah.
If you think about it.
I thought it was just like, oh, this one guy's killed like 7 people. So the whole time I'm like, man, these villagers suck.
It's just murdering villagers.
And like, why the fuck would all the people still be there? You know, I gotta have my shop open in case nobody comes back because they're all dead.
Okay, so I had to correct myself because everyone's gonna be like, whoever actually listens to this is like, what the fuck is Nick's talking about? Well, like movies. It was As Above, So Below.
Ah.
It was a fantastic movie all the way until the end.
Huh. So Below.
I've never heard of it.
Me neither.
I saw it in theaters with Nicole.
And do they go to hell in it?
Yeah.
Well, fair.
Yeah.
It's like kind of based off Dante's Inferno.
Yeah. See, that's what I thought this was kind of inspired by.
Yeah.
And that's what I said. I'm like, this is kind of like this movie. I mean, obviously, there's some other premises, but I think, John, you nailed it on the head. I'm actually really surprised that they haven't done it. If anything, maybe not a movie, but maybe a series.
Like a Netflix series.
Netflix, yeah, like The Witcher. Yeah, man, The Witcher's big popular. I wish Rob Zombie had done this in like 2007.
Peak Rob Zombie.
Just House of a Thousand Corpses is just gore. It's just because this is like a House of a Million Corpses.
It's really gory. It is really gory. I mean, for a game back then, I suppose. I mean, you have all the people that are sacrificed on the stakes.
Yeah.
And then the butcher's in that room. I've seen, because I watched a video of the butcher because I didn't get that quest. It's just like you're in this room with just disemboweled corpses everywhere.
It's gross. Yeah, he's this big demon looking.
It was amazing, by the way, watching my dad play this.
Yeah, so scary. I love the voices.
I thought the audio as a whole was like the voices were amazing. Like the guys, like the zombie grunts and the noises that.
Yeah. Diablo 3 doesn't scare me at all, but this game, the music is unsettling. It's just unsettling as a whole.
And this will be my only, and I'll drink ahead. My big criticism of Diablo 3. It kind of got rid of the aesthetics of this game. Like this game, and even 2 to some extent. Like 2 is a much brighter game than 1, and I didn't really realize that until I played this. Like, you have the music when you're walking around, going, descending further into hell, and there's like screeching babies and chattering noises in the background. I'm like, this is fucked up.
Yeah, even the town music. It's like, all right, this is a creepy ass town.
It's refreshing. Like it's creepy music, but it's not horrifying music. So there's this calming aspect of like, all right, I can breathe for a sec. I'm in town.
Yeah. That random guitar.
So something a reference is D3 does actually bring back the butcher, by the way. I don't know if you guys got that far in the game.
Nope.
Yeah. He farts out fireworks that are rainbow colored. It's bright. It's a neon flashing
He's
dance
pretty grotesque looking.
It's like Nick, the 4th of July underground.
I want the Nick casting for this.
Right now?
No.
We should have done. We should have done that.
Yeah, the Donkey Kong casting from you, man. I've never laughed so hard.
I mean, I think this would be like a good series, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, this game. I mean, it obviously did very well. For it to get and I think this happens with all the Diablo games going forward, is it had an upgrade to it.
You ready for the sales stats?
Let's hear them.
So initially, a Blizzard rep, having looked at the game, estimated that it would sell about 100,000 copies. The most recent data that I found was May of 2018, had it over 30 million.
Oh my God.
So they kind of undershot that just a hair.
Just a hair.
Right through the years, though. If you think about it, that's battle chest, that's everything.
Oh yeah, because I mean, we're still buying. You can buy it on GOG, and when you buy it on GOG, you get the expansion, which Blizzard didn't do. Some other company did it. Synergistic Software.
It has a couple other characters, right?
It gives you the monk.
It gives you a barbarian too.
It's you have to hack a file in order to unlock it.
Yeah, I heard about a bard too. Like,
yeah.
What the fuck is one of the ones
he wanted. It's a guy that it's mostly used to boost the group.
He's just running through the depths of hell singing with his little acoustic guitar.
So I only know this because I'm a bard in my Dungeons & Dragons group right now.
you would.
Nick's just sitting there in the background out, playing a fucking lute.
That's actually that is my instrument I have. I'm actually a rogue bard mix.
I'm getting like Monty Python vibes out of Nick. He's just walking around. Here's so brave Sir Robin. Yeah.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, I heard that the original guy wanted to add a bard. So
John inserts fart noise here.
Well, I mean, you guys watch The Witcher, right?
Yeah,
on Netflix. Yeah. Isn't the guy that just follows him around? Is his name Bard?
No, he's a bard, but that's not his name.
Yeah, but he just calls him Bard. Henry Cavill just says Bard.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all I can picture is just this squeamish guy singing songs.
But how catchy is that tune? Toss a coin to your Witcher.
It's his hype man. That's all it is.
Yeah. You need someone to boost that morale. You need someone that
Yeah. I will say that you are good at that in real life, Nick. You're a good morale booster with your antics.
I like to play devil's advocate as much as possible.
Yeah.
Or be the opposing side of just for the sake of just the anger.
Yeah.
You two.
If I get in a group with you two, it's just you guys. I go down a bad path.
Yes.
Go down a bad path or go down the right path.
They're one and the same sometimes.
It's questionable.
Yeah.
John, I'm surprised you went warrior.
I know. I was going to go rogue, and I was like,
I figured you'd take rogue, honestly.
Yeah,
I thought I thought you were going to take wizard or the sorcerer.
Well, they said it was the difficulty to start with was hard, so I'm going to go back and play. I'm going to go on because I never beat this, obviously, and I don't think I beat Diablo 2. I think I stopped halfway through. Yeah,
you never did bail runs. You never did bail runs.
Oh, I love bail runs.
What the fuck's wrong with you?
I played it one summer in college, and then another game came out, and I was like, "Oh, this is more fun." So, yeah, Diablo 2 again at some point for me. I'll finish all 3.
Well, we're gonna play. That's why in this episode I really didn't want to talk about Diablo 2 as much as I've been trying to hold back a little bit because we will be playing it. As soon as Blizzard gives Nick his keys, we can add it right to the list.
Well, I'm ultimately probably going to end up buying the Resurrected.
Yeah.
And just blow through it. Because you guys can play that, and I can play through that by myself easily. Because I used to be the person that would go into groups and be like, "Hey, high level. Do you guys need to be run?"
Yeah.
So I'd run people through constantly. So, but I think that's what I didn't like about this game as well as, again, I know it's a new game, but like, I think and this is probably the salesman inside me, is I know you hated this, Matt, but I actually liked the auction house sometimes.
Yeah, you would. This game-breaking abomination.
I would love it because I'm like, okay, let's do this. Okay, you make your deals or you do your mule runs, or you would join a group that someone would just be doing some runs. So you just make sure you're the first one to pick up all the gold items. So that was me. I was through and through. I was there. I'm like, oh, or I would trade stuff around. Yeah. So that's probably why the other two appeared to me a little bit better. Specifically, too, because 3, they got rid of that. I mean, let's be honest. Even after we end this, I probably will start playing the other two. Number 3.
I'm playing 3 because I'm playing with you guys, but I have some concerns with 3 that I didn't have with 2. I love 2 for what it is, but I will say, having played this game now, I have criticisms of 2 that, like, if you had me play 2 a long time ago, I'd be like, it's a flawless fucking game. Get out of my house.
Yeah.
Having played 1, like, yes, 1 has a lot of flaws, and it is nowhere, in my opinion, near as good as number 2. But there are things that 1 does that 2 does not do as well. The feeling in this game of like dread.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if you had said we're going to play Diablo 3 for Halloween, I would be like, 1, that doesn't qualify as one of our games, and 2, it's not fucking scary. Why is that a Halloween game? This, this is something. This feels different when I play it. I am uncomfortable.
And I think I know why.
A bunch of lists for scary games, it's like.
But think of the time that this came out. When was this released?
97.
Yeah, there's actually
January.
What was else coming out during that time?
I mean, was Mario out yet? Mario 64. Yeah, they'd already come out in 96.
Let's think of PlayStation.
Yeah, Resident Evil had been out.
Yeah.
So that was also the time when Resident Evil, you had Silent Hill coming out. You had all these horror-esque games coming out. So that was just like a time of, I think, gaming in general. Like, how do we make a game scary? Then people got past that kind of phase and were like, okay, this is a great brand. How can we build off but make it so it fits the new phase? By the time like D2 came out, you had Resident Evil 2 and 3 and even 4 that are more arcade-ish.
Yeah, 4
they're still gory and they're still fun to play. And there's still puzzles to solve, but it was more lighter. Like, to this day, Resident Evil was probably one of the scariest games I ever played.
Yeah.
It is much scarier than the rest in the series.
I legit had nightmares from that game. So, but all the other ones I could myself play as a kid and not have worry about it because it was more lighter. And same with Diablo 2. It was a more lighter game.
I have a theory on why that is.
What's your theory?
Think of Alien versus Aliens. Right?
It was, yeah.
You had, and if you've watched Alien, you know what the alien does. So by the time you get to the end of the movie, you can't be jumped by the alien again because you know the alien. It's not scary a second time. So when Aliens came out, like, okay, this is going to be more action. And I have to wonder if, like, Diablo 2, it's like, well, all right, the first game was scary. We can't scare you the same way again, so we'll give you action.
That's a good point. Yeah. Yeah, I can see that. And there was a lot more to it. And yeah, a lot more bad guys, a lot more depth. Yeah. Yeah, because Aliens wasn't that scary.
No. 80s action movie.
I think that's what just happened with this game. I think that's what even happened with Diablo 3. is by the time it came out, I mean, the whole scare aspect or horror aspect kind of died. Like they had they had to try to appeal enough to the old masses, so the people that played Diablo 2, but also appeal to the new masses that are playing computer games.
I would like to meet somebody, and if we ever have the good fortune of having anyone that listens that played Diablo 1, didn't play Diablo 2, and then played Diablo 3, what were your reactions when you picked up Diablo 3?
Is there anyone actually existing that did that?
I want to meet that person and I want to interview them.
I'd be very surprised.
What the fuck did they do?
There's a progression.
If you watch it, sorry.
There is a progression. 1, 2, 3 is like, makes sense.
Like, this is like
the progression makes sense.
This is like being anally raped with a steak knife, and this is like a trip to Care Bear Land. Like those are your extremes.
Well, I think Warcraft, all those textures, man, they wanted to get more graphics in there. So, like you said, Matt, they scared you once with one thing, so now they just gotta add layers to it.
Yeah.
Well, I think also you have to think when this game came out, online play wasn't a really big thing either.
They had to go back in and add compatibility with BattleNet.
Yeah, because they had Warcraft 2 had it, right? And then they kind of got a feel for it and added it in.
So you think the reason why, because I think something I remember you saying when we were playing D3, drink. I would, but I'm pretty toasty right now. So
I've drained my beer.
I drained my beer and I'm on Fireball right now. So, but I think what has happened is it's so easy now to, with even 2 and 3, it was so easy to level up because all you had to do when you automatically signed in, you weren't playing offline. You could make a room private if you wanted to, and then play the solo if you wanted to. But most of the time, I think it defaulted to public room. So you join, and then someone higher level will come in and be like, "Hey, you want to run?" You're like, "Oh, okay." So next thing you know, you ran through the whole game, or you're playing with someone, or you're playing with a group of friends, what made it easier and fun. So you'd be at the end of the game, you'd be, this. I barely got to. I think I got to level 10, and I was thinking it was just hitting the 20s, maybe.
Yeah, I got down into the caves.
But I mean, with other games is that was nothing. Like I was level. I think I was max level when I finished up going through Diablo 2, with extended bail.
Yeah, I got up in the 80s, I think, on that one. In this, I think I made it into I think I was in the 30s, and I actually, so I ran out of money, and the way the game works, the enemies don't respawn. So if you run out of enemies, you run out of money. So you can restart the game with your same character file, keep like your inventory and your level and stuff. So that's what I'm doing currently at level 30 something, redoing the game.
But I mean, this game definitely brought back memories of me watching it. It's weird playing it. Like I think what it was so weird. Like even if I was coming back from just playing directly from D2, I'd be like, why am I going so slow?
Oh,
why is it so slow? And I think for me being ADHD, it moved too slow for me. Like I'm like, let's go. Like I felt like I was like, okay, I'm losing interest because I'm not moving fast enough.
Yep.
And I'm not gaining enough. Like there was nothing new. I was like, okay, this feels like which is weird because the kind of games I do like is you just running around and trying to level up everything. But at this point, it doesn't really make sense. Like I didn't feel like leveling up really did much for me. Like I didn't feel like no benefit from leveling up. And that's probably why I was like, oh, well, okay, I leveled up. Oh, I'm level 7. Oh, I got some stats. Let me put these stats where I think they'd be beneficial.
What was it? Vitality didn't do anything.
Oh, you needed vitality, man. I dumped everything into strength and vitality on my guy.
Really?
So mine, because I'm a rogue, I went everything dexterity. Because I'm like,
yeah,
okay,
rogues, dex.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, dexterity. So I jump for like the first, every time I level up for like the first 4 levels, I've dumped everything to dex. I'm like, I need to use these spells, so I need to put money into my magic.
That's, Nick, you bring up a good point with the stats, though. So, like, compared to a Dungeons and Dragons, this is relatively simple in that you don't have like a bazillion stats you're dicking with. You only have 4: strength, dexterity, vitality or health, and
magic.
Magic. Right? Or is it intelligence or magic? I can't remember what the other one was.
No intelligence. It's magic, yeah.
It is magic, yeah. So you're only messing with 4. And really...
the spells, dude, with the warrior. I was like, what does this do? And you gotta, as you're panicking and trying to click, I was like, I butchered it so bad. And like trying to shoot a fireball, like it didn't even do anything. I shot it right through a couple of guys. I was like, well, that did nothing. So
Diablo 1, the max level is 50.
Wow.
That's nuts.
But listen to this. Your max player level is 50, but creatures or enemies don't have a cap.
A butcher's like 99.
What got me, though, is we struggled on normal. So there's 3 difficulty settings in this one. Normal, nightmare, and hell. And I think you have to get through one of them in order for hell to unlock. You have to unlock hell.
That's pretty rough.
And that's kind of like the other ones do. Like, though I think they get a little more restrictive. Like, I think you have to go through normal to unlock nightmare, to unlock hell, then to unlock inferno,
right?
Like, so on and so forth. And that's what D3 does. Even drink up here. You have to like go through and beat it before you actually go. And I think it's a good system because I think it gets you one kind of acclimated to the game. Yeah. So you're like, okay. Like, this game, you cannot blitz through at all. There's no blitzing through this.
No.
And you had to clear out the whole level to make sure you leveled up properly.
Yeah.
And then, but the thing is, you had to hope for God that you get good weapon drops.
I got nothing. That was such a bummer.
I had to wait for quest items.
Stuff, if you went to buy something, there was like, ooh.
Oh, that's a good point. Did you guys ever buy any premium items, or did you just buy the standard shit?
Standard.
I bought a couple premium items. Yeah,
did you? Big spender.
Yeah, I saved up a little bit.
Yes,
I think it was a scimitar or whatever it was, one of the swords.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, I never bought anything premium because I was too cheap. I wasted all my money on healing potions, and I didn't realize that when you went to Pepin, you had the option of buying stat boost potions. I didn't scroll down his list enough. So that kind of fucked me over. Fun fact.
Yeah. Yeah, and then there's a kid. Like, there's more to this game. This game has, for as linear as the quest was, like, you go in and you go down, there's little side things. You know, you had side quests and then, like, guys you had to go talk to. And even in the dungeon, like, there's a disgruntled warlock or whatever the fuck his name was. Like, some of the things you triggered on the sides. Like, yeah, for the age of this game, it was impressive. How much they packed into it.
What I liked about this game, it made sense for number 2 for some things. Like, to open up the cow level in level 2, get a drink if you guys have them, is you need Wart's leg. His wooden pig leg.
The continuity of it, yeah.
Yeah.
It was just great because it's filling those, like, continuity, like, okay, why am I getting, who's Wart? See, I used to think Wart was like this old man that you guys wouldn't leg, and to come find out it's just a boy underneath a tree with a wooden leg. I'm like, oh, this is even more grotesque to think about it.
Well, that's like all of Tristram gets slaughtered, I think, because like Deckard Cain gets put up in a thing, and like Griswold becomes a zombie you have to fight. So Griswold's the shop owner that sells weapons.
Did you know that Deckard Cain was a fan submission.
No.
Yeah, they wanted. They said they took a poll. They put it in a magazine or something, and they're like, name this character, name the Elder, and somebody was like Deckard Cain, and they're like, oh, that's kind of hardcore.
How'd they get that name? They pull off like Blade Runner or something?
Maybe Deckard. Yeah. So some guy just submitted it to him, and they're like, that's in. That sounds badass.
And he's legit the only character that have made it through the whole series.
All of them.
Stay a while.
4. Yeah.
I don't know what the story of Diablo 4 is, but I might get it.
Identify this item.
I mean, I can't run it, but I would definitely get it.
You probably could if you had put on your if it comes out. It's supposed to come out for the Switch.
4 is coming out on Switch?
Yes.
Oh.
It's supposed to.
Interesting.
But I know you liked it because it looked like it harked back to some D1.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not frolicking through Las Vegas on an LSD trip. You know, it's back to this gruesome kind of dark looking. It's not going back to Diablo 1, but I mean it's close enough. It's found its roots. It appears to, anyways. So final thoughts. What do you guys, let's close her out.
Yeah. Nick, you go first.
Am I getting a rating?
I want you to give me a rating.
Then a rating?
A rating and a ranking, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, overall rating, I mean, it was fun, but it felt like it was dragging. So I'd put it like a 6 out of 10.
Okay.
I think, and again, like, I had my recollection of this game as my stepdad playing it on PlayStation. So that's probably anything of nostalgia that comes back. But I'd never played this game, so after playing 2 and 3, it was like, I'm running too slow. Like, there wasn't much of weapons, or it was pain in the butt getting quests. It just dragged way too much, and I couldn't see myself putting hours and hours. I get frustrated because if you did die, like if you didn't save, you're fucked.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh shit! I had to do another whole hour, 2 hours worth of work to get 3 levels. Shit,
You do have to save like every 10 minutes in this game.
And be smart where you save. Don't have a crap save where you can't progress.
Panic save.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. So I saved right before clearing out any level.
Yep.
Before entering a stage. So I'm like, okay, let me save here. Then I'd like find a corner if halfway through the level and save right in that room after I cleared out that section. So there. And you said you want a ranking of the games we've played so far?
Yeah, where about would you put it?
Oh boy.
I think it's in my bottom 10. Like, not my bottom, like top 10. Like out of how many do we have so far on there?
Well, we've got 34 on the list so far that I sent you today.
So it's probably in the bottom, that last of the 34. It's in around that 10
All right.
of those.
We'll work out. Is it better or worse than Knights?
I'd say better than Knights.
All right. Better than Warcraft 2.
Better Warcraft, yeah. I'd say about the same. Actually, I'd say below Warcraft or right near Warcraft.
So in between Senti and Warcraft, Nick, is where you're going to put it.
Yeah. John's like, oh, this must be really high for him. John doesn't realize where my Warcraft is.
I know, right?
All right.
That you like this around the same. So,
John, what about you? What about your final thoughts?
I'd put it right below Crusader of Senti.
So between Aladdin and Senti?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't see it on the Google Drive, the updated rankings.
Don't you worry about it.
But yeah. Diablo 2 is definitely better. The fact that I played this with the warrior and I didn't get anything. Like, I didn't get anything exciting in the beginning. It was just like, hey, this is going to suck for you. And the ambiance made up for it. So I like this more for the feel of the game than the actual gameplay, because like Nick said, you felt like you're just swinging away and you could do 1 damage. Like, I felt like I'd go into a group of guys and just get slaughtered because I do 1 damage for 10 hits in a row. You know, it felt like when things got dicey, your guy just was like, wow, I can't do any damage. Might as well just get mauled. You know?
Like, oh, here. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. And the grind aspect too, like if there was respawn for some of the enemies, that would have been a little helpful. So you could get a little beefier. But I get it. They wanted to keep it scaled, so things had the same difficulty. But yeah, it was tough. It was a little disappointing to not get stuff. That was my problem. And maybe that's just my luck. And I'll try it again with a different character and I might have a different answer for you.
Yeah. I think I'm not in the same camp as you guys. Because I think you guys you sound somewhat disappointed in this game, and I had a different reaction in that I went in expecting, because I played it a little bit before and then gave up because the run was too slow. So I went in expecting a slog, and what I found was I was getting addicted to it, even more so than the other games. That grind aspect of this game, I had that horror kind of ambiance, and it's like, I've got to get to the next level. I had one night, like, I got done playing and I'd clicked so much that my wrist started hurting. It's like, okay, I've got to stop playing Diablo because I'm in pain.
Click.
So I don't know if this is like the Beyond Good and Evil type thing where I went in not expecting anything, and because I was so happy with it, my score is inflated. But I highly recommend this game. I think this is a solid game. I think the graphics are great, especially for the time, but even for now, honestly, the aesthetics, the music, that feel you get playing this, like that feeling of like you're isolated and you're alone and it's dark and this like sense of dread.
Yep.
Love it.
I know how Matt's going to die.
So my ranking, I put this in between Final Fantasy Tactics and Cave Story. It is in the upper echelon of my list because the feel of this game, I loved it. I'm only
like 4 spots lower than you.
Yeah, you're not as positive as me. So on where this one sits, having gone through all of us, it now currently resides in between Warcraft 2 and Star Fox.
That's about where I'd put it for myself.
I feel like our average rankings, I'm typically higher on things, and I think one of you two balances me out every time. So
Nick.
we have like this Nick is our rock.
Well, except for Final Fantasy is like my top 10.
That's your top game.
It is your top game.
Yeah.
Until you play Final Fantasy 3, and Tactics will not be your favorite Final Fantasy.
We've got to get Dan on for 7.
7, 3, yeah.
You know what I actually like? And we've done this by accident because our schedules have been fucked. But I like that we each get 2 picks in a row. So like John, you picked an RPG that stretched out 2 episodes. And then we had 2 fucks with Nick. So Nick went on a Genesis spree. And then I got to do this one and I got to do Ninja Gaiden. So like if you did every other, 2 episodes, someone in theory could pick Final Fantasy VII. They would just get 2 episodes with Dan on it.
Who wants to be lucky?
Yeah, I'll do it. I never played 7, so I should.
I would love to get Dan on if his life is.
Yeah.
I have 7
he
too.
has the most time. Yeah, I could find 7 somewhere. I don't even need to play Final Fantasy 3 to talk about it.
I've never played any. I only played 3 Final Fantasy games.
How?
Tactics and Tactics Advance and the first Final Fantasy.
What is wrong with you? Nick, no. Nick, John is being beckoned. Can you take us out?
Yes, okay. For the glorious ginger.
What?
We'll take this out. Follow us on our socials. We're on Twitter. We have a Discord channel. You can listen to us anywhere we have a podcast. Listen to podcasts on our Twitter and Instagram. Follow us at Spindash Retro. And on those socials, we also have a link to our Discord where you can communicate with us directly and bitch to John directly if you wish.
Please do.
Please do. We're always looking for a community. We want to build this community of retro gamers. Also, a good way for us to get feedback. Again, listen to us anywhere you can listen to podcasts: Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher Radio, and anywhere you can listen.
Nice.
But happy Halloweenies. Halloweens. Hope you guys enjoy this, guys.
Thank you. See you next time for Clock Tower.
Clock Tower. Scissor.
Whoa, now that is a big mushroom. That's too big. It does block the tunnels that lead to my protected haven.